Welcome to A Shot of Facts. This is your girl Deja Renee, and this episode is a shot of holistic health with Jamesia Monroe. I said that right. Whew. Now,
Yes.
Jamesia, yes, she is a transformational speaker, a thought leader, a holistic health coach, and a Kemetic Yoga Instructor. And she also empowers women and overall women and men from the African diaspora through holistic health. So, Jamesia, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful, Deja. How are you?
I'm doing pretty great. I can't complain. I'm over here healing from a broken ankle
Oh,
injury.
no. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to hear
roller
that.
skating. I was roller skating. I was trying to do like a cool little trick outside,
Mm.
and my ankle sick.
I'm sorry. You caught an L real quick, basically.
Yeah, and it
I'm
really took
sorry.
me out. Like this is a career-ending injury right here. I think my doctor said I'm not going to be fully healed until like August. And
Oh no, not missing this summer. No.
I know, right?
That's what we're not going to do.
And I was just joking to my now boyfriend, like talking about,
Oh,
yeah, it's gonna be a hot girl summer for me.
no. I got summer about to be sitting in the house. Oh,
Yes, mad. But no, I got a little scooter though. So I've been like scooting
okay.
around. Yeah, it might still be hot girl summer, just on a scooter,
This on a scooter. Good way to improvise. I like that. I like
Right.
that.
A lot of people when I be scooting around, they feel bad for me and they let me all buying through. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's a little bit perks with this. But yeah, I just been at home all day. It sucks. Like long healing process. But
Well,
yes,
scooter, I used to love the scooters when I was younger. So, yeah, just bringing back memories that you bring it up. So,
yeah, it's a long way to go. But since you are a holistic health coach and a yoga instructor, one of my first questions to you is pertaining health disparities within the medical industry, particularly with Black women and also Black men. But right now, I want to touch on Black women, especially like with mortality rates and overall just medical malpractice. What is your opinion?
absolutely, that's a good question. So I got my degree in nutrition education, my master's degree in nutrition education. And when I was getting my degree, we would learn about different diseases and just different health disparities. And the crazy thing about it is when I was going through every course, I would always see that the group of people that would be ranked at the top for each disease or health disparity would be Black people. It would be either Black man or Black woman. And I'm like, okay. I'm trying to sit here in my head, trying to like add together.
Right. I always wonder, like, why? Why is
Yes.
that?
So, but even with to answer that question, we deal with so much. I mean, it's no secret that we deal with so much, and stress is a major factor in regards to disease. Like, and we weren't really taught how to manage stress.
Yes.
And I don't even want to jump ahead because I know there's so much we can unpack, but it's just like we're taught to keep things to ourselves and keep things to the family and not express ourselves in regards to the things and the issues that we're experiencing as a community in a collective. So yes, and it's back to the nutrition education aspect. What I thought was super interesting was that although we were ranked at the top for disparities and diseases, the representation of the nutrition educators were slim to none when it comes to Black people. So I was either the only Black woman in the class, or it would either be like 2 or 3 other out of like 20 something students.
Right.
I got it online and I'm like, okay, there's something wrong about this scenario. We are the people who are disproportionately ranked higher for these health disparities, but we don't have representation of people help eradicating or eliminating these disparities. So I'm like, there's an issue. Who's gonna teach us? Who's gonna help us? So I kind of made it my mission to help the Black community and specifically Black women when it comes to heart disease, diabetes, stroke, non-cancerous cysts and uterine fibroids, because we're ranked higher out of all groups in this nation and just in general. So that's kind of like a part of like my mission and my journey that I'm on, or I decided to go on.
And when you mention stress, like it is so many ways to unpack just the whole realm of Black women and stress and how it leads to diseases, because even the trope of the strong Black woman,
Absolutely.
how we have to bear so much trauma and not complain, and if we complain, we're the angry Black woman.
Absolutely.
And it's just like that's why so many black women have all these diseases, and on top of the medical industry just straight up mistreating us, thinking that we have different pain levels and all type of crazy, outdated ideologies that came from racism. Like
Absolutely.
it's systemic, and it makes me scared, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like it's crazy, but you'd be surprised of how many people have been a victim of that outdated, as you said, belief that Black women can have a high tolerance for pain. That is crazy. That is crazy to me. Like, and I have my own story. Again, I don't want to jump ahead, but I remember going to the gynecologist and they were checking my ovaries to see if I had like uterine fibroids or
Or
cysts.
sis, me
Yes, and
too.
this is a part of my story too, so I'll talk more about it. But just for this scenario specifically, so I was in the room where they just check to see if you have cysts or fibroids. And that experience was so, I just can't explain it. I just felt like I didn't matter. Like they didn't value my life. So there was I don't know if she was a nurse or assistant, but it was a white lady, and my gynecologist is a Black lady. Now I intentionally go to her, but I know we all heard this saying that all skin folk ain't kin folk, and
Yeah.
it's just what it is, and it's not like her fault. It's just that the knowledge and the education that they teach them. So prior to my gynecologist coming in, whom is a Black lady, it was this white lady. She was assistant, and she was going to inject this saline in me, and I asked, what product or chemical are you putting inside of me, because I'm vegan. And she told me, and it had some type of fish chemicals or what have you in there, and I declined that. I rejected that, and I asked her if there was an alternative, and there was. But to my surprise, she had an attitude with me, and I'm like, you know what I mean? If there is an alternative and I have that right to, ask for it, you know what I mean? Just give me the alternative. And so what she did, but she did a pre-examination, and she automatically diagnosed me with fibroids. And I was just like, okay. So I was like, well, what's the point of doing a test? So then when my gynecologist came in and she did the test, and it was so painful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was in there like cursing and everything, because like they didn't want to prepare me for that type of pain. And then number two, it was just like excruciating. Like, and it was just like, oh, like it felt like it was just like dismissed. Nonetheless,
Right.
She looked at the screen, and I'm like, is it fibroids? And she was just like, oh no. She's like, you don't have fibroids. They're just non-cancerous cysts. And she said it as if it was like nothing. And I'm
Nothing.
looking at this nurse. I'm like, now imagine how many Black women that you misdiagnose. Because the reason why, because if you say that you have fibroids, you get surgery done, that's just more money in their pockets. But it was just a shame. It was just like how this lady just wanted to diagnose me with fibroids so bad. Like, and I honestly believe, I'm not for the medical industry at all by any means necessary, but I honestly believe that they do misdiagnose a lot of Black women just for their own gains, and partially is what they're taught, but like it's just because they dispose us of us mattering.
Right.
And that's just my opinion, but yeah.
Yeah, and I can share my experience because
Yeah.
even from I started developing ovarian cysts in high school.
Oh wow.
And my mom worked well, I'm from Detroit. My mom worked at Children's Hospital in Detroit. So, she knew doctors, like my pediatrician, like became later my what's the next step? I forgot like adolescence
Primary.
doctors. Yeah,
Oh,
adolescent doctor and like all throughout high school. So I had a good, relationship with her. But like once I started to develop the cyst, I forgot what happened. She wasn't around or something. And it was like constant battle of me going to the hospital, missing school, getting, I used to get ultrasounds done to
man.
see what was going on. And this is very traumatic as a 16, 17-year-old girl, and having the doctors like, oh, you might have to just get your ovaries removed. And it's like,
Wow.
this is a big deal for me. Like, they just act like it's nothing. Like, and
Wow.
good thing that I just I just stayed bed rest for probably a month, and it went away. And once I got some more like ultrasounds done, it was actually a cyst like the size of like the tip of my pinky.
Wow.
And it caused so much pain.
Yeah.
And now that I'm 25, I actually, and this is not, I don't even care. Like, my listeners know that I keep it real with them. So I'm just going to say this. So once I turned 25, I decided to get off of birth control. And that's
Okay.
a whole nother thing, I know.
Absolutely.
So I was on birth control for like 7 years, right after I graduated from high school. And I think that masked the effects of the cyst. And
Absolutely.
I started to feel the effects again after I got off the birth control. And I'm constantly going to like my OBGYN up here where I just moved, and they're like, oh, we didn't find anything. I don't think nothing is wrong. Like, if I'm constantly going to the doctor and telling you something is wrong with me, like, I literally felt like they were trying to minimize my pain.
Absolutely.
And it got to the point where the doctor, white lady, was
Mhm.
just like, maybe you need to do some pelvic floor exercises.
Really?
What? And after that I just stopped going, and I just start taking medicine, like, honestly. And it sucks to say, but I really felt like they minimized my pain, and I know a lot of black women go through that.
Mhm. And it's so unfortunate, and especially with maternal health as well, when like during pregnancy and all of that. I've never been pregnant before, but like just hearing so many stories, yeah, it's just horrifying stories of how many black women lose their lives before for what is it, hypereclampsia, just like
Oh,
high like blood pressure during the pregnancy and all of that. But it's just so unfortunate how, like you said, they minimize our pain, and it's like, oh, it's no big deal, just inject her with this and then she'll be fine. But let's just be realistic. In today's time, if it was a white woman, they would definitely do everything that they can to make sure that she was taken care of, and then they listen to her needs and her concerns. So it's
yeah.
unfortunate, but so we have to, I believe that we need to be proactive with our health versus reactive, by any means.
And I'm definitely like going into the realm of holistic health.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely am researching different just natural remedies for things as far as, with being a woman, menstrual pain, reproductive health, things of that sort. So what is your opinion about just kind of slowly transitioning or learning more about holistic health rather than solely relying on, westernized medicine and going to doctors?
Absolutely. So for me, just to tell you about my story, so like I found out in 2018 that I had cysts on my ovaries. And of course, like they tell everyone else, you got to get a procedure done, all of that good stuff. And I declined because I knew deep down in my heart there was a holistic way of eliminating these cysts from my ovaries. I just didn't know the answer. So what I did was I made a commitment to myself. Right. And I didn't care if it took the rest of my life. Like, and that's how serious I was, that I was going to figure out how to eliminate my cysts from my ovaries. And so what I did, I began to deepen my studies and like trying different vegan diets. Because again, I'm vegan. I've been vegan since 2016. And I
Wow.
tried all types
I,
of vegan
I
diets.
commend you, because not to cut you off, but I
No, you're
tried being
fine.
vegan. I lasted 3 months, and I know I felt amazing though. I felt
See, that's
amazing.
beautiful.
I need to get back to it, honestly.
No, you know what it is? It's that it's planning and accountability partners. That is like the major key for like sticking to a vegan lifestyle, not even a diet, but a lifestyle. But anyways, back to the story. So I went on the search, got my degree in nutrition education. And actually, thanks to me being in that program, it motivated me to go to the gynecologist, because I wouldn't have gone, prior to that. Although I've dealt with heavy, long menstrual cycles for years. Like you, I was on birth control in college, and I got off that thing because I just never agreed with the concept of injecting these types of like hormones in me, and like my hormones going crazy and all of that good stuff. So fast forward to this pandemic, it was the worst and the best thing that happened to me, and I'm explaining why. The in 2020 was the worst and the best year that happened to me. So my year, just like everybody, it started off rocky. It started off rocky. February was my birthday, so I just celebrated my birthday in February, and 2 weeks later, my life would flip upside down. So what happened was my cousin, who's like a brother to me, He passed away from a seizure. The guy that I was dating, the day that I came back from his funeral, we ended up splitting that day. I came back to work the following week, and I was met with so many warnings and write-ups to my name. I was on the verge of losing my job. At that time, I was like 3 weeks behind on school, like my school, because of all the things that were going on. I wasn't feeling appreciated by friends. We're at the height of the pandemic and racial injustices in this country. And I was not happy with myself as a woman. I wasn't happy with my job, and I just wasn't happy with my life. So one day I realized that I was in what I call my greatest depression. It's like I literally hit rock bottom. And I come from a warrior family. I come from strong women and a military family. So unfortunately, I did fall under that, and this is my truth, I did fall under that strong Black woman trope. And so, but when I hit that rock bottom, like the strong Black woman that I knew myself to be, I was no longer that. You know, I was like hurt, I was broken, and I was very like vulnerable. And I'm like, man, how did I get here? So fast forward to June. After meditating one day, my eyes landed on this book called The Optimum Fast. And it's by Nana Kwaku Apare and Amo Apare. And I picked it up. It was recommended to me by my elder. He told me that a colleague of his used it to eliminate her cysts. So I said, okay, let me try it. But also it's a fast. So I said, this is the reset that I need. The longest at that time I've gone on a fast was for 3 days. With like no food or anything, just with water. But this one included like other elements to it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dedicate 7 days to the fast. The 7 days were like the minimum, I believe. And my spirit told me, not only are you going to dedicate the seven days to fast, you're also going to dedicate the fast to the 7 chakras. And for those of you who are unaware of what chakras are wheels of energy that makes up our life force. So we have 7 main chakras that start from the tail of our tailbone, and it goes all the way up to the crown of our head. And it just connects us to everything in the universe. So I went on the fast. When I said I had the most transformational experience within 7 days, that's an understatement for me. And I'm honestly telling you the truth. I had like 5 different journals. I vlogged majority of the days. I fell off during the end, but I just wanted to have proof. I examined myself. I did a lot of introspection and reading and just yoga and meditation and all of the natural things. And so on one of the days, all of my wounds and my traumas and everything just came to the surface. My shadows, my demons, everything came up to the surface. And I wasn't expecting that. It was kind of like, imagine having an existential crisis, identity death, and all of that within one.
Yeah.
And but in hindsight, I was having a spiritual awakening. On another day, I kid you not, I went to the restroom and these crazy looking things came out of me. And to my surprise, after researching, I did some thorough researching. I'm sorry?
Like parasites?
No, they were my cysts from my ovaries. I found the answer to what I've dedicated years for finding the answer to, and that were my cysts. And when I say I jumped up and down, I cried, I was in disbelief, and I was like, oh my goodness. I told myself I would dedicate the rest of my life to find the answer. And I knew there was an answer, I just didn't know what it was, and I found it. On another day, I experienced another level of peace that I never experienced before. It was like, how I explained it to people, it was like the divine like source was like beaming through me, and it was just love, like imagine a warm energetic hug in your soul, and it just felt so good. And I told myself, I said the words, I want other people to feel this. Like I want other people to feel this, and specifically Black women, because we go through so much in this country. Like we are like the backbones of this country ever since our ancestors stepped foot on this soil. And it's just like, I want us to be happy. I want us to feel good, for once. I want us to pour into ourselves, because we're always pouring into everyone except for ourselves. So what I realized at the end of that experience, the 7-day fast that I went on, is that to me, the message was spirit, divine, source, universe, God, whatever you call it. That was spirit's way of telling me that I'm going to turn your mess into your message. So what I did was fast forward 2 months later, I quit my corporate job. And I expanded my yoga business into a holistic health company because I'm on a mission to help the Black community, but specifically Black women, to eradicate these health disparities that we experience in our society and our community. So yeah.
Now, say the name of the book one more time.
Yes, it's The Optimum Fast by Nana Kweku Apare and Amapare. And I am definitely giving these people money because
I will make sure.
Because apparently everybody is going. But I did expand my business, and I offer an 8-week chakra healing program that's dedicated to each chakras. And then on the last week, you'll go through the same fast that I went through. So yeah.
And what would you say for people who are kind of reluctant into looking into spirituality and holistic health? Because I feel like that's one thing that definitely hinders or makes Black people reluctant into looking into things of this sort based off, religion and traditional religion, what they grew up in.
No, I understand that. I believe that it's a journey. It really is a journey. Like, we all are on different stages in our life path. I know so many people who are spiritual and religious, and people who are just spiritual, and to be honest, it doesn't conflict with your beliefs. But I do understand how people can be reluctant because, let's just be honest. We were taken from our homeland and stripped away from our belief systems and I wouldn't even say religions, because our ancestors, they were spiritual. Right. You know what I mean? And we were just stripped away from all of the things that we used to do. And for me, there's this thing called Sankofa, and I'm just going back and fetching, what we already are. I'm just allowing us to remember who we are, as a community and people. But in regards to people being reluctant towards it, I honestly say just keep an open mind. I say that it does not conflict with your beliefs or religion, but if you feel as adamant that it does, then by all means, take it one step at a time, or just, don't participate. But, I do encourage all Black people to go back and look into their roots and to really connect with their ancestors, because we didn't get here without them. So I believe that paying homage for the very people who came before us is necessary as a community and people.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And going back to what you said, I definitely feel like I'm the type that is kind of a mix between religious and spiritual. Mm-hmm. Like, I grew up in church. I'm a church grandbaby. So I grew up in a church. I was in there 7 days a week, it felt like. Choir, usher, you name it, I was in it.
That's me. That's my background.
Yeah. You name it, I was in it. And it took me to get older, and a lot of the family issues, and I kind of felt like I kind of felt like I lost my way with organized religion, just from things that I experienced dealing with humans and human functionality in that system, right? Absolutely. And that's why I started to research more spirituality. And also, like, for me, once I got older, I started to question, things that I just grew up doing, that I was indoctrinated to do.
Absolutely.
And I feel like a lot of people are afraid to question things and to research and just to look at things in a different light. So I definitely do feel like the Black community needs to just overall, like you said, have an open mind and do more research and realize, like, a lot of people who are closed-minded, they just straight up say, like, it's devil worshiping. I'm like, devil has nothing to do with that. Like, what?
Yeah, but think about it. It's just like anything outside of their beliefs. But let me shed light on this, and I don't know if it's gonna step on anyone's toes, but just to be honest, our ancestors in ancient Kemet is the original name of Egypt. Every belief system and religion comes from the ancient Egyptian civilization. Every last religion and belief system in this planet, all of it is derived from ancient Kemet, and it was just taken and, of course it's man-made, but again, I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but so, like, there's truth in every religion, every book, every Bible, the Quran or what have you. Like, there's truth in that, because well, I can't say we all know, but it did come from ancient Egypt. Like, for example, the 10 Commandments came from the 42 laws of Ma'at. you know, and a lot of people aren't aware of that, but that's where they come from. So if I feel like we should open our minds and come to the understanding that, you know, instead of looking for the differences, look at the similarities. You know, at the end of the day, although they can strip us from, you know, our original traditions and beliefs, it's still in the books that we read today. It's still in our genes, in our blood. It still runs through us, like naturally. No matter how much you want to deny these aspects of yourself, you still naturally move the way how our ancestors moved. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I try to tell people, some people, once they're, deep in their ways and they're afraid to question anything,
Right.
it only takes for them to like reach out within themselves to want to learn more. So I'm just here providing the platform and the information, for you guys if you want to learn more information, because I definitely will put information about everything we're talking about in the show notes as well too, definitely. But one thing I do want to touch on now is, am I saying it right? Kemetic
Yoga.
Why do I feel like I was saying that? All right, Kemetic Yoga. Can you explain to the listeners what is that and how's that different than like just regular yoga? Because I feel like people don't realize that yoga is kind of like a religious practice as well too.
And I do want to debunk that, but go ahead.
Okay, you don't think it's one?
No, it's not. It's not at all. But you were saying something. I didn't want to jump in. I think you were saying something else too.
Oh no, so I was saying like, what is the difference between that and just regular yoga?
Okay, I didn't know if you had anything else to say after that. But so yes, so contrary to popular belief, the original yoga and the first yoga started in ancient Kemet. The reason why that it has been popularized in Western society, that it started from India, but the reason why a lot of Indians would say that they have the first yoga is because you cannot find the word yoga anywhere in the ancient Egyptian text. So to them, it's like, no, it came from India, and that is not, that's far from the truth, or could be far from the truth. But in ancient Egypt, on the walls of the pyramids today, you can find them practicing yoga. And the words in their ancient text was Sema or Sematali, and that was what they used for the word of yoga, to yoke, to unite. It's the uniting of two lands. And so our ancestors, so it's safe to say yoga is a Black thing, y'all. So because a lot of people, and that's just real, a lot of people think when they think of yoga, they think of the stereotype, the slim, small white women practicing yoga,
right.
Because that's what Western society has popularized as. But to answer your question, ancient Kemetic yoga is an ancient Egyptian African yoga, and it has been practiced by us for a minute, and it's just beautiful to see a lot more Kemetic yoga instructors around the world. I know what's his name? Not Asar. Asir Rahotep. He was the originator of, popularizing Kemetic yoga in the United States. And then, of course, there are different instructors who, offer that practice or this practice. So my teacher is Netter Unk. We are based in Atlanta, Georgia, for those of you who don't know. And but yeah, no, to answer the other question, is not a religion, because again, our people, there wasn't a specific religion. What we did was we honored the land, and we honored nature, and we honored everything in the universe, and we were connected to the planets, and we're connected to the earth. The famous saying, as above, so below, as within, so without. And that also, what I like to teach, it refers to our chakras. And that's what my program is specifically based on. And the chakra system is an ancient holistic science. And it includes the mind, body, and spirit. And our ancestors knew that you cannot be healthy, truly be healthy, without one or the other. Like if your mental health is off, then your physical and spiritual health may be off. If your physical is off, then your mental and spiritual may be off. So in order for you to truly be healthy, all of it has to be intact. And the one cool thing about the chakra system is that it connects to your endocrine system. And we have more than 7 chakras, but I focus on the 7 main chakras as it pertains to the endocrine system. And that's just made up of a group of glands, and it releases hormones into our bloodstream, and it goes to the different parts of the body and tells the body what to do. And our endocrine system is controls our metabolism, our
Right.
sleep, our blood pressure, our function, our sexual functions, and all of those good things. And so that's how powerful the chakra system is. And all of these things are just ancient holistic sciences, ancient holistic practices that I implement into today's modern time, just from a different perspective.
And I do want to touch on how you mentioned mental health. And I
Yes.
feel like that's something that we definitely do. You believe that we are now making more strides towards advocating for mental health, particularly in the Black community? And also, how can we associate or learn more about mental health and associate it with holistic health?
Absolutely. Those are wonderful questions. To answer your question, yes, I believe that this pandemic, man, boy,
Yes.
if it was not for this pandemic, we would not, I don't think we would have, I can't say we would have taken mental health as seriously, but I think that the people who are so gung-ho about not considering therapy are considering therapy right
Yeah,
now.
I went to therapy. I
Same,
did.
same. I am a proponent for therapy. So after my spiritual awakening and just doing a lot of shadow work on myself, I still, reached out and got a therapist. Because I do believe in, having someone there to walk you through the things that even if I'm working on myself, I believe everyone needs therapy. That's just me. I said it.
Right.
Everyone needs therapy because we all have some type of trauma that like runs in our subconscious mind, believe it or not. Like there is some type of trauma somewhere. And I think it's good for us to bring that into our awareness. So yes, to answer your question, as a Black community, I believe that we're more receptive of mental health, and we are realizing how imperative it is to take care of it. So much has happened in this pandemic, and my honest belief is that everything happens for a reason, and this pandemic, it forced us to go within and to face our traumas, our demons, our shadows. It forced us to actually sit with everything that we've been running from, because our society is always on go, it's always moving. And this pandemic was like, no, like not pandemic, but I think spirit, universe, God, was like, nah, like there's enough of everything in disarray and chaos. Like everybody needs to sit with themselves, and they need to deal with the things that they are not dealing with. And I believe if you're going to come out this pandemic better or bitter, so you will know the people who have done the work or not. And even if you haven't done the work, it's never too late to really do the work on yourself to come out better in this pandemic. You
Definitely.
said another thing. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
so what was the reference of, I guess, associating mental health with holistic health as well?
Yes, this is one of my favorite questions, actually. So, when it comes to mental health, if you are not, as again, you cannot have one without the other, mental, mind, body, and spirit, right? If you're not in tune with your spirit, you don't know what your body is trying to tell you. Like our body is always communicating with us, and if you're not in tune, you're out here aimlessly shooting, to say the least. So I'm gonna give you an example. Like our body is always in communication with us. Do you know that when you're stressed and you're dealing with anger or stress or what have you, our body will, or you will start craving like crunchy, hard foods, right? You'll start craving these things and you're eating these things. But if you were truly in tune with yourself, you will know that your body is trying to tell you something. If you are craving a specific food, then that means that there's a deficiency somewhere in your body. So when you're angry or you're stressed and you eat crunchy or salty types of food, your body is telling you that you're dehydrated, you have low electrolytes, or you're lacking some type of B vitamins. And how you can combat that is with yoga, meditation, exercising, and eating specific foods such as fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and drinking water, of course. That is how you combat that. And that's just an example that I use. But like, if you are in tune with that, this all is starting with your mental, emotional health. you're stressed, if you're constantly in a state of chronic stress, especially in this country, in the Black community, we are like trauma has been inflicted upon our people, since we came on this land, but especially during this pandemic, we are just experiencing and viewing trauma every single day, and we're not healing. We're getting sucked into the stories, and then that messes with your mental health. It really does, because now you can't even move in a way of safety and security, because you're always looking behind your shoulder. You never know if you're gonna make it through this day, or make it through get out of a being pulled over or what have you. So yes, so to answer the question, when it comes to your mental health, you can tell by the cravings that you have. So when you are in tune with yourself, and when you are tapped into, like, when it comes to holistic health, when you're in tune with yourself, you will know, like, hey, I can make better decisions now because I know, because I'm aware. So it's all about expanding consciousness at the end of the day. So if you're not aware, you're going to just crave, you're going to just start eating salty foods and crunchy food. But if you are aware with yourself now, okay, you know what? I'm just thirsty. I'm dehydrated. I need to drink some more water. Now you're making better decisions. Now that's creating a healthier lifestyle, healthier options. And then, of course, yoga and meditation will help with, the mental health that you're dealing with, journaling. And then also, I say, as a compliment, going to therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one thing I noticed, like, just learning about myself, my body, right? Like, I definitely hold stress in my gut, like gut health. Like, whenever I'm stressed out, like, I suffer from IBS, like, I have psoriasis, acne, you name it. And it's all from my gut health. And I notice, like, whenever I get stressed, my stomach is the first thing to start acting crazy and weird. And I realized, like, your body definitely, when you said, like, you have to be in tune with your body, like, at first I used to think, like, what's wrong with my stomach? Like, something's always wrong with me. But I'm realizing, like, it's associated with the stress. It's associated with not sleeping. It's associated with consuming caffeine too much. Like, it's all of those factors add to why you feel the way you feel. And I think people don't add the two and two together too much.
Not at all. And then even with that, so that's dealing with your solar plexus. So like the chakras. Oh, so I didn't really explain about the chakras. So, forgive me if anyone's
yeah. Explain it for the listeners. Definitely.
Yeah. So like, okay. So again, the chakras are connected to the endocrine system. And, that's just how, you either overproduce hormones or underproduce hormones. That is how you know that your chakras are out of balance or they're blocked. And the chakras are connected to each aspects of our lives. So we have 7 main chakras. We have more than 7, but the main ones that I focus on are the root chakra. That's connected to our family, our friends, our security, safety, our basic needs, such as like food, water, sex, health, those things, feeling grounded in the way you make your money. That's just the basic mundane things, like an animalistic type traits. You survive. It rules your fight or flight mode, safety, your survival, and it's connected to your adrenals. And then you have the sacral chakra. And a lot of women, this is specifically Black women, this is where we hold our emotions and our wounds, our trauma. And this is where our uterine fibroids, endometriosis, non-cancerous cysts resides. It's because of a lot of the emotions that we hold in, because our community, a lot of our people in our community are anti-therapy. We hold our emotions in our womb. The sacral chakra represents your emotions, your creativity, your sexuality, your sensuality, and your divine feminine energy. This is where you create from. We create life from here. A lot of artists, have a strong sacral chakra. When you're tapped into your creativity, you are tapped into your power as a divine feminine and masculine. Men and women have the sacral chakra, and they have feminine energy. And then you have, after the sacral chakra, is your solar plexus. So as for you, as I was mentioning, you deal with digestive issues as it pertains to your solar plexus. It represents your confidence, your self-esteem, courage. It represents happiness and logic. And it has just like so many things pertaining to that. And that's connected to our pancreas. So any issues that you deal with in your digestive issues or digestive area, that's pertaining to your solar plexus chakra. After that is the heart chakra, and that's connected to our thymus glands, and it represents compassion, self-love, unconditional love, forgiveness, of course. And this is the chakra that bridges the physical and the spiritual chakras with each other. And this is where everything resides. This is where our passions reside. This is where the money that flows in and out of our lives reside. Because if you're moving from a heart space, then I believe that's, I'm going to pause and take a step back. Self-love is key. That's what I preach. And my favorite quote by Will Smith is, self-discipline is the highest form of self-love. And I believe that when you tap into self-love, you have the ability to truly manifest anything your heart's desire. I just wanted to throw that in there. But after the heart chakra is your throat chakra. It's connected to your thymus and it's connected to your thyroid and parathyroids. And this rules the effectively communicating and listening. That's what your throat chakra represents. And anytime you deal with like pneumonia or sore throat or what have you, this area could be telling you a lot of things. It could be telling you that you're not speaking up for yourself. It could be telling that you're not speaking your truth. And so I want everyone to think on expand their consciousness in regards to the way the body is responding. It has a spiritual and emotional aspect connected to it as well. So you may just think that you have a sore throat out of nowhere, like, oh man, I wore a scarf. But no, like, are you speaking your truth? Are you communicating effectively in your relationships? Are you holding something back? So if you start to think like that, because you can combat the sore throat, but there can always be a deeper meaning, and it can come back if you're not addressing those things. I know I'm going on tangents, but
I feel inspired just hearing you talk about this, honestly. Like, no, keep going.
So then we have the third eye, which is my favorite. I reside here. The third eye represents your intuition, your imagination, and your ability to see and hold the vision that whatever you want to manifest. And that's connected to your pineal gland. And then you have your last one is your crown chakra, and it's connected to your hypothalamus and pituitary gland. And it's just your connection with God, source, connected with your passed on loved ones. You know how in your dream world, you know how when people are like, oh, so-and-so came to me in a dream, it's your crown chakra, because you're at a resting state. And I can't remember what they call it. Is it theta wave or zeta or something like that state that, you know, you're more receptive of, you know, receiving dreams. You know, when our mothers or grandmothers say that they had a dream on a fish or, right, you know, stuff like that. And as we were mentioning, a lot of the things our ancestral ways are always with us. Like, they just won't connect these things, you know, they won't put two and two together, but all of these things are ancestral, but we just, anything that is not listed in the Bible or outside of, you know, what everyone's being taught, then they just demonize it. But it's not. These are our natural given gifts when you're tapped in.
Yeah, that's actually funny because I often have very vivid dreams where, you know, it's weird. A lot of people say that like they might dream, but they don't remember it after. But whenever I dream, like I can tell you like a story what happened in my dream.
Really?
Yeah, like it's really interesting. Like I remember even when I was going through things, like I would have very like descriptive or metaphorical dreams, and I'm like, I know this means something. Like absolutely. I know it do. But going back to like my gut health, I'm glad that you said that because I suffer from anxiety really bad. And I know that's associated with my gut health too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like my anxiety is off the roof. Like,
yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, and it's not saying that you're not like a confident person or, you know, self-esteem or what have you, but those things are associated, connected to that. Like
I literally worry about everything though. That's my issue. I worry about everything.
Like, so but see, and then like I'm so glad that not that you go through that, but I'm so glad that you mentioned that because y'all can see that what I'm talking about is true. It's just like the fear. So when you're in fear, so that means that you have an underactive solar plexus chakra. So these chakras, so that means you're under producing hormones that pertains to your solar plexus chakra because you not I don't want to put that on you, but like you deal with a lot of anxiety, and it's like what you would need to do is strengthen your solar plexus chakra, and that will help you, and along with, you know, the foods, specific foods that you eat and all of those things. But you're in tune, and now you're aware, like, okay, you know, let me work on my solar plexus chakra. Let me start eating pertaining to the solar plexus.
Right.
In my 8-week program.
I was just gonna mention that. I'm like, what you
Yeah,
can learn about in the program.
you would absolutely learn about that. Like, it's so down to the T that like there are specific foods for each chakra. So I created meal plans for each chakras. There are different yoga flows for each chakra, meditations, affirmations. I wholeheartedly believe, I am a proponent of affirmations. I even went live yesterday on my Instagram talking about affirmations on my other my speakers Instagram. But there's something in our brain called the reticular activating system, and I talk about this all the time. Your brain cannot differentiate a truth from a lie. So there's power in the tongue. There's either creation or destruction in your tongue. So I know that we all have heard of the saying that words are spells. So it's literally what you speak out of your mouth, you create, and your brain cannot differentiate. So your reticular activating system is now activated, and it's like, okay, Jamesia said she is this. All right, boom. So now your brain is looking for ways to make whatever you said to come into your reality and make it true. So that's why I like to be mindful and tell people to be mindful of what you say. You know, people wouldn't say like, oh, I'm so stupid, or oh, this always happened to me. Okay. The universe is like, we're spiritual energetic beings having a human experience, and we are connected to everything in the universe. So if you said this, all right, universe said, all right, that's what it is. So then now it's shifting your reality to say, all of these things, these bad things happen to me, and you're going to invite more bad things into your life. So when you are operating from that level, from a conscious, spiritual, and mindful level, now you can move a little differently. And then just the food that you put in your body will help raise your vibration to the words that you say and what you want to bring into your life as well. So I know I went on a tangent, but I just felt to say.
No, because that even brings a good point. So one of my older episodes, I interviewed a gospel rapper, and he mentioned in the sense of how, you know, your words, your tongue has power, and what you listen to and what you see on a daily basis has power overall, like, you know, with how you move every day in your life. And it's funny because, you know, he's Christian super rapper, super, you know, Christian rapper, and you know, you holistic health coach, you know, y'all basically saying the same thing. And it's funny because I'm like, that's so true, because if I'm on Instagram all day on Shade Room or some gossip site, eventually I'm just, you know, mindlessly scrolling through, I'm starting to internalize some of that toxicity, honestly. Yep. And that's why every now and then I have to unplug and just reset myself and get off of social media. It's so easy to just suck in that negative energy on your phone all day. Definitely.
Yeah, trust me, I know, because my whole business is online, so I have to be on social. And then I'm just like, before, you know, even going strictly online, because prior to me expanding, you know, I was teaching yoga at different health centers, or just fitness clubs or gyms. And then just making that pivot to online, it's just like, well, before that, I would like take months off, like a month off of social media or 2 months. Now it's like, dang, my business is online now. So I have to create boundaries for myself, where it's just like, when I go on, I'm going to post and then I'll get off, you know what I mean? I have to create healthy boundaries, because I'm human. So I get sucked in as well. But I know that, you know, the way everything is going, I cannot do that, especially me doing what I do. Like, I work with energy, and but the good thing about it is I have tools to lean on, and I have the knowledge to lean on to help cleanse my energy from the you know, being sucked into the trap that I call it. Right. But to the point that you made, you said that like you find yourself scrolling, and then it's like, I love the fact that you said that, you know, you can start to consume it like in your mental, and that's so true. But you're actually you are allowing your spirit to like absorb that information too. So what you watch every day, like I don't watch TV at all. Like I don't. I know it sounds crazy, but it's been like years. Like every
No,
once in a
I
while.
don't watch TV either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but do not watch TV. Like every once in a while, of course, if I'm with family, we'll watch a movie. I probably watch Netflix maybe 5 times since the pandemic. And that was just I was really inspired by the Madam CJ Walker story,
Oh
because
yeah.
I used to admire her when I was younger, so I wanted to see it. But even I don't knock anyone who watches TV, but like television can consume you, and it's a program at the end of the day. It's controlling. Well, I'm not gonna get on that, but
No,
yeah.
girl, if you want, let's get on. Because honestly, I just, all right, speaking from someone who is from a STEM background too, and
Okay.
I looked into, I have friends who work in, website development and analytics and things of that sort. So
Okay.
on like a technical side, these social media sites, they particularly make stuff addictive for people to keep coming back. Even from
Absolutely.
the fact of like your eye movement, they can see how quick you go on and off an ad. Like
Mhm.
they literally, like if you have your Siri on, like they're literally listening for keywords. Like so, like technology definitely sometimes scare me, especially
Yep.
learning about it more. And I was just like thinking about TikTok, for example, because TikTok is a whole nother thing.
That's another
And
beast within it. I tried,
yeah,
but I couldn't keep up.
I find myself literally in a trance, like scrolling on TikToks where I literally have to like force myself to get off of it.
Yeah.
That is dangerous to me.
Very
Like
dangerous.
it's yeah, I literally catch myself in a trance. Like I could be on there, next thing you know, a whole hour pass and I'm looking at TikTok videos.
Yep.
And it's like I know the information. I know the advertising and I still
Same.
do it. Like it's addictive.
Same. My bachelor's in marketing, so even from a marketing perspective, they know. And I think that it's becoming an ethical issue. I know we just went on a tangent, but like it's an ethical issue, and it's definitely impacting mental health. This month, I'm not sure if you know, but this month is mental health month. I just been
Oh
seeing
yeah.
it like everywhere, and yeah. But the crazy thing is like they know what's up, and it's just so unfortunate because everybody's inside. We ain't going outside, so we just want to
Right.
see. And I think what caused an uptick was the challenges that were created during the pandemic, the dance challenges and all of these fun things to get everyone involved. Like, oh, create this do the new dance that's out, which is like coming out every week. I don't know if it's still coming out like that now because I'm not really like in the know like that for real, especially on TikTok. But there was one point where like TikTok dances were coming out like almost every day, and it
Yeah,
was
I
like,
definitely participated in some.
yeah, I
That
don't
took
know,
me
I did
forever to
too.
do it.
I did too. Like, I have nieces and nephews, so even when I would visit them, yeah, we were doing them TikTok. Yeah, I'm not, I definitely fall under that category too. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that it's starting to become to me an ethical thing. And it's kind of hurting us, and our society is just screen based, and that's sad. So when you are in holistic health, as pertains to holistic health, like I teach going outside, connecting with nature, how the sun, provides you or activates your vitamin D, and how the just being in nature helps like open your third eye, and it connects you with your solar plexus and your heart and all of these things. Getting back to, it may seem ancient to a lot of people, but just getting back to how our ancestors operated, because they operated at their optimal genius and intelligence. They were able
Right.
to read the stars and find their way through whatever. You know what I mean? They were able to connect with the planets. They were able to connect with nature, and they were able to describe like the different herbs and how the medicinal properties of the herbs. And I teach that as well, like the different herbs that help for each chakra, even down to the crystals. I explain how the benefits for crystals. A lot of people, if you're not aware of crystals, they come from the earth, and contrary to what people believe, we have every single element in us. That whatever crystal that exists on this earth, we have that. All it does is amplify that specific element inside of you when you have one, or you have it as a necklace or a ring or just on you. So I just teach ancient ways, and that's what my program is all about. It's just connecting with yourself, connecting with your ways, And I teach the chakra system from an African perspective.
Right.
Like each, how the chakras are pertaining to the different gods and goddesses in the ancient time. And people believe that this is what people, there's this misconception that the ancient Kemites worship several gods. That's not the case. The ancient Kemites believe that there was one source, that we all come from one source. However, there are different manifestations of, you know, the source. So like within nature, you know, those gods and goddesses were pertaining to different animals and natural aspects of everything that makes up God. So yeah, that's a whole nother topic in itself, but I just wanted to bring that awareness and consciousness to our people and to your listeners.
Definitely. Now, speaking about your businesses, so where can we access and purchase the course? Like, is it live or is it like preset already recorded courses?
Okay, so you can actually book a discovery call with me, and I'll just go more into explaining the course. And I also have a free gift as well. So my social media, you go to my Instagram and click my Linktree, the link in the bio, and you can click your free gift, and it will tell you which chakra is blocked or out of balance within you. So now you know, you have that understanding, like, okay, my throat chakra and solar plexus chakra is off. And now you have a little more understanding of why it's off. And then, yeah, if you want to book a discovery call with me, so that we can figure out how I can assist you or signing up for my program, then I'll be more than happy to do that.
And what is your Instagram and social media accounts or handles?
Yes, and it's a play on Kemet, so it's Kemunity Yoga. K, it's not spelled like the normal community. It's KEMUNITY _yoga. And community or Kemet again means the land of the black or black land. So it's the way I have a couple entendres, the black community or black unity yoga. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I would definitely make sure to add all of your social media handles and everything else in the book, especially in the show notes, so people can learn more about holistic health. Definitely, because I feel like this is something that people need to learn more about. Most definitely.
I agree.
Yes, but going into my last call segment now. And so this is a segment where I let you, my guests, give the listeners last parting words, last words of recommendations, or anything that you want to leave the listeners from this conversation.
Yes. I just want everyone to know that our body is self-healing. When I went through that fast, what happened to me was that my body was just reverting back to what it knows to do. And it because I allowed myself to eliminate all of the foods that I was eating and just gave my organs the opportunity to rest. But I want to leave y'all with this. The most radical thing that you can do in this nation is to be well in a country or in a nation that wants to keep you sick. I love this is one of my favorite quotes of all time. If you educate a man, you educate an individual. It's an African proverb. But if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. So if the woman is well, the family is well. If the family is well, the community is well. And if the community is well, the nation is well. And that's what I believe.
All right, you guys, you heard it, folks. I feel inspired from this whole conversation. Like, I was vegan for 4 months, like during COVID. And yeah, like I said, I felt amazing. Like I was getting back into spirituality. I was going to therapy, girl, and all that. And then I started going back to work and I kind of fell off, not gonna lie, but I'm trying to get back to where I was. Yeah. You know, being at home all day, you know, I can collect my thoughts and be with myself and learn things that I need to work on. And I feel like that's something that everybody should be working on is themselves, most definitely.
I agree. And the one thing about the program that I am offering, you have an accountability group or partners.
Yes, that's the thing.
That is the key thing, because if you have people to hold you accountable to, like if I was in your life 4 months ago and you saying, hey, Jamesia, I'm trying to go vegan. Oh, don't worry. I got you, Deja. Look, I've been vegan for 6 years now. I'll hold you accountable. I'll send you the different meals that you can eat and we can do this thing together. So just imagine the power of community pun intended, that you will have to hold you accountable to becoming the best version of yourself.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you so much for coming on A Shot of Facts. Again. Please make sure to support Jamesia and everything that she has have to offer. Please purchase her course. Please call her. Please follow her Instagram. And please work on yourself.
Love is the best love.
Self-love is the best love, y'all. But again, thank you guys for listening. Please make sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you guys later. Peace.
Bye.